Hello, boys and girls, and welcome to class. My name is Dominique Notton, and I'm an HISD teacher at River Oaks Elementary. And some of you might already know me. You might have spent some time with me talking about reading. And if you know me, you know that's my favorite subject. Even now, as an adult, going home after a long day of work, I am still finding myself caught up in a story or in a chapter book or some sort of biography or memoir, just escaping the day, reading all to myself in a just right location with a just right book. And I hope you are doing the same. Reading can be a wonderful escape and a great way for us to all relax and unwind. So I hope that while you're reading, you're maybe finding a nice cozy spot and maybe unwinding from your long day and enjoying a good book. I know that some of us are just first graders or second graders, but even still, you have long days and you've been working really hard. And it's so comforting to know that you can try all of our reading strategies at your own time, at your own pace, and you can enjoy your just right book whenever you want. I hope you are taking those reading strategies that we have talked about, and I hope that you have taken those reading skills that we have discussed and applying it to all of your enjoyment in reading today and every day. One of those things that we have talked about has been characters and setting, characters' feelings, and character traits. We've also talked about problems that the characters have faced and solutions towards the end of the book, plot with beginning, middle, and end. And we've also taken some time to talk about words, those wonderful and amazing words that make up these sentences, that make up the books. You have learned so many, and I know that you have those high frequency words in your head, and in a snap, you can read them. So we have done so much, and it has been such an amazing semester doing all of that with you. And I hope you have enjoyed it, and I hope you're ready for our next lesson. Today, I'm going to split our time on two different topics. First, we're going to be talking about rhyming words. We spoke of rhyming words before, and we're going to revisit rhyming words. I always tell my students that just because we've already learned something doesn't mean we get to let it leave our brain. We let it stay in our brain, and we are going to remember it and hold on to it dearly. So even though we've already talked about rhyming words, I'm really going to go into more explanation on where we can spy and identify rhyming words in our reading, and maybe even using it in our writing. And then we're going to spend the next half of our time together talking about sequencing. We've already talked about beginning, middle, and end, but today we're going to focus on sequencing of first, next, and last, maybe first, second, third, fourth, and finally, and noticing that I'm already using those transition words. So friends, I can't wait to start this journey with you. And like I said, we're going to start with rhyming words. So let's go ahead and take a look and review what a rhyming word is. Do you remember? Think about that while I pull up our anchor chart. Oh, I know you have some really good thoughts. And you're right. The first time that we started to really talk about rhyming was when we were discussing poetry. Boys and girls, rhyming is a part or maybe an indicator of reading poetry. Poetry does not always have to rhyme, and we remember that. but it is an element of poetry. And I have it right here in that orange square. To rhyme means that words have the same ending sounds. Do you remember anything else about rhyming words? You're right. I know you said, Miss Notton, they don't always have the same ending letters, but they have the same ending sounds. And one of those things is that they could have the same ending letters. They can have the same ending letters, but they do not have to. They can just simply have the same ending sounds. And that's the most important thing about rhyming, is if they sound the same at the end, not the beginning, and mostly the middle and the end. So let's just play a quick game. Let's do some thumbs up and some thumbs down for rhyming words. Remember, rhyming words have the same ending sound, not the same beginning sound. So I'm going to give you, and you're going to give me, a thumbs up if the words rhyme, and a thumbs down if they do not rhyme. So let's just practice this. All right, here we go. Listen to the word tree and bee. Do those rhyme? Tree and bee. If you had your thumb up, you're right. It has the same ending sound, and it actually has the same ending letters. E, E. All right, let's try another one. What about book and took? Book and took. Think about that. If you have your thumbs up, you are correct. Book and took have the same ending sounds and the same ending letters. They have O-O-K. Okay, let's try another one. Let's try apple and acorn. Do apple and acorn rhyme? Say it in your head. No, they do not. Apple and acorn do not rhyme, okay? They have the same beginning sound, but they do not have the same ending sound. Good for you, boys and girls. Let's try another one, a couple more. Let's try dice and mice, okay? Dice and mice. Is your thumb up? Yep, because dice and mice rhyme. They have the same ending sound and they have the same ending letters. I-C-E. Dice and mice. Let's try some more. Pillow and pig. Pillow and pig. Do those rhyme, boys and girls? No. Pillow and pig do not rhyme. Great work. Can you think of some rhyming words? Help me out. Come on, let's see if I can hear some, or if I can listen to you tell me some rhyming words. Go ahead, shout them out. Good work. Keep going. Rhyming words galore. I hear them right. Cat, hat, bat, sat. Good work. Cup and pop. Good work. And cop and top. Excellent job. Any more? Boy and toy. I know you can do it. So we're going to look at some more rhyming words, and I have a little song I'm going to share with you. So hopefully that song can stay in our brain and we can really recognize some of those rhyming words. And every time you hear a rhyming word, I want you to give me a thumbs up. We're going to spy some rhyming words, and then you're going to give me a thumbs up with a nice little song to help you remember. All right, this song is called Rhyme Time, and we're going to sing it to the tune Row, Row, Row Your Boats. Okay, so it is rhyme time. And hopefully this little song, this little jingle will help you remember the different reasons why words rhyme or how they rhyme. Rhyme time song. Sound, sound, sound alike, except where they begin. Rhyming, 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 middles and the end. I'm not going to interrupt the song yet. We'll talk about it after. Cake, bake, sound alike, so do herds and birds. Hat and bat, log and frog, all are rhyming words. Hill, bill, sound alike, so do birds and thirds. Bed, red and bed, ball and wall, all are rhyming words. Sound, sound, sound alike, except where they begin. Rhyming, 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 middles and the end. All right, friends. I know that that was a really fun song, and we'll sing it a couple of more times. But we're going to go through each part of it and talk about those rhyming words and what they mean about the chorus of the song. So let's take a look back at our song and see if we can break down the song. Here's the beginning. Sound, sound, sound alike, except where they begin. Rhyming, 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 middles and the end. So that's exactly what Miss Notton was talking about, except where they begin. So not the beginning sound, boys and girls, but the middles and the end, like boat and goat and hat and bat. Those don't start with the same beginning sound. At and b at. Those are not the same beginning sound. Let's check out our theory. Sound, sound, sound alike, except where they begin. Rhyming, 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 middles and the end. Let's test it out. Cake, bake, sound alike. So here we go. Cake and bake. K. Beginning sound, k. Bake, beginning sound, b. Cake is my beginning sound. K. B is my beginning sound, and bake. Are those the same? No, they are not. But cake and bake rhyme. It has nothing to do with the beginning sound. What is the same on cake and bake? You're right, the ending. The letters even are the same. A-K-E. A-K-E in cake and A-K-E in bake. Cake and bake do not have the same beginning sounds, but they have the same ending sounds. Cake, bake, sound alike, so do herds and birds. I am noticing something about herds and birds. Tell me what you notice. You're right. They have the same ending sounds. Herds and birds. What is different? You're right. Not all of the middle and end sounds are the same. Letters, are the same. Herds, H-E-R-D-S, and birds, B-I-R-D-S. They don't have the exact identical ending letters, but they have the same sounds. Our theory so far is really testing out to be correct because herds does not have the same beginning sound b as birds. The beginning sound does not matter, only the ending sounds. And it doesn't even matter if it's the same letters, as long as it's the same ending sounds, herds and birds. And I had a friend ask me, what is a herd, Miss Notton? Well, let's take a look at the picture to help us. What do you think a herd is? If you guessed that it was a group of animals, then you are correct. Here we have a herd of cattle, herds and birds. Hat and bat, log and frog, all are rhyming words. What can you tell me about hat and bat and log and frog? You're right again. They have the same ending sound and the same ending letters. At, og, og. OG and AT are the same. Let's take a look at hat and bat. Hat, at, b, at. Can you think of anything else that rhymes with hat and bat? You're correct. Sat. I'm just changing that to a s. Sat. Cat. I have a cat and I love her very much. At. I changed that sound to a k sound. Hat, cat, bat, sat, mat, fat. I could go on and on and on as long as they have the at the end. Hill, bill, sound alike, so do birds and thirds. Red and bed, ball and wall, all are rhyming words. Spy all of those rhyming words. Hill and bill. Birds and thirds. Red and bed, ball and wall. None of those have the same beginning sound, but when they rhyme, they have the same middle and end sound. Hill and bill, birds and thirds. Say them with me. Red and bed, ball and wall. I could go on and on. Sound, sound, sound alike, except where they begin. Rhyming, 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 middles and the end. Okay, friends, we tested it out. We said that they do not have to begin with the same sound, but they do have to end with the same sound. And remember, they do not have to have the same letters. They just have to have the same ending sound. What a fantastic job with your rhyming words. I want you to remember that although we've talked about rhyming words before, we still want to make sure that that knowledge stays in our brain. So today and every day, I want you to take your knowledge of rhyming words and maybe spy them around the room, or spy them when you're at the grocery store, or spy those rhyming words when you're reading a menu, or spy them when you're walking around the school. Wherever you are, friends, today and every day, I want you to spot some words and think about how you can find another word to rhyme with it. I'm looking around the room right now and thinking about words that rhyme with each other, like rug and dug. I don't have someone digging in my room, but I do have a rug. Or chair and bear. So just look around the room and see if you can just start rhyming all day. Take what you know about rhyming words and apply them to your reading and your writing. And boys and girls, I know that you'll be successful with all your rhyming. As promised, we are going to shift our lesson just a bit, and we're going to start talking about sequencing. So I love talking about rhyming, and I love talking about elements of poetry, including rhyming, but we're going to shift our brain and start talking about sequencing. When we sequence, boys and girls, we start from the beginning to the end. I always tell my class that in order to tell a story, it has to be in order. I wouldn't tell you about eating dinner and then headed to school. Because once I eat dinner, boys and girls, am I going to go to school next? No. After I eat dinner, I'm usually going to go to bed afterwards. Or friends, if I talk about eating lunch and then going to brush my teeth and take a shower. Well, maybe depending on your work schedule, but most of us are in school eating our lunch. And if we're at lunch, then I'm not going to go and brush my teeth and take a shower and get ready for my day or get ready for bed. So it doesn't work. And if it's not in order, a story can't make sense if you don't start with the beginning, middle, and the end. So boys and girls, that's what sequencing is. We tell something from first to last. If I was going to explain to you about how to make lemonade, boys and girls, I would not start by saying to add ice. Or I would not start by saying stir. Because what are we going to stir? Or what are we going to add ice to? So it's very important to know what sequencing is, starting from the beginning to the middle to the end. So let's just think, if I was going to say lemonade, I might start by saying, grab your materials for lemonade. And that is the first step. I would need all of the materials. I might need a glass pitcher to put the liquid in. I might need a stir or a spoon. I'm certainly going to need some lemons, and I like sugar in my lemonade. So I'm going to need all of these materials before I even start. And then I will step by step go through the lemonade making process. And I would try my best to go in order. So let's just see how this next book or this book does go in order. And this book has to do with pumpkin life cycles. So let's take a look at how does a pumpkin grow. And as we read this story, this nonfiction story about how a pumpkin grows, we are going to notice the sequence and order of the events. So let's go ahead and look at the sequence and order and see if it starts out as a full pumpkin. Because I'm thinking it probably doesn't just start with a full pumpkin. Are there any guesses as to what it starts as? I heard some of you say seed, and you might already know the pumpkin life cycle, or maybe you know a different fruit or a different vegetable, but you are correct when you say that most start with a seed. Let's go through the order. How does a pumpkin grow? How does a pumpkin grow? This is, boys and girls, called a title page. How does a pumpkin grow? First, you plant a little pumpkin seed in the nice, warm, brown dirt. And now it's labeled 1 for step 1, and then a cute little pumpkin seed. And friends, I want you to notice that word, first, that's where we're starting. If the little pumpkin seed gets enough sun and water, it sprouts up out of the ground. Step 2, it sprouts. If the little sprout gets enough sun and water, it grows into a pumpkin plant. Step 3, plant. It was a seed, and then it was a sprout, and now it's a plant. Is it a pumpkin yet? No. So we know we're not done. Step 4, if the pumpkin plant gets enough sun and water, it grows into a pumpkin vine with orangey yellow flowers. Did you know that a pumpkin starts first as a flower? Wow. Are we at a pumpkin yet? No, we're only on step 4. I know we're not done because we don't have a pumpkin. If the pumpkin vine with orangey yellow flowers gets enough sun and water, little green pumpkins start to grow. What? A green pumpkin? Do you think we're at the end? I don't either. And it says step 5, little green pumpkins. This started from a seed. The first step is a seed. The first step is not the little green pumpkin. And the first step is certainly not an orange large pumpkin. If the little green pumpkins get enough sun and water, they grow into big orange pumpkins, ready for you to pick. Step 6, big orange pumpkins. Do you think we're there? And there is the story or the steps of a pumpkin. So friends, it was very clear to show you the different steps of a pumpkin. It was very clear to start with first and then go in to the clear steps of the events of the pumpkin. So let's just mark those down before we leave and get ready to go in order of our pumpkin growing process. Well, first, friends, what did it start out as? We were right, a seed. And then, a sprout. And then, and of course, friends, we can always look back at the book to help us as well. But you're right, it starts with a plant. A plant. I think I'm going to even have to add more spaces for us to write, because after the plant, friends, let's go back and look at the book and see where we are. So we're at the plant process. It was a sprout. There's 6. So we're going to have to add more. We have plants, vine with flowers, little green pumpkins, and then the big orange pumpkins. So let's go back to our chart and label them. And we need 6 steps. I did not include enough. Then we have a vine with flowers. 5th, we have, do you remember? The little green pumpkins. And finally, let's just add one more row. We have the big orange pumpkin. Well, that was very simply put. And we just took the events from the nonfiction story and we put them in order, in sequence. It would not be fair or correct to say that it starts with a vine with flowers, or that it's a vine with flowers, then a plant, then a sprout, then a big orange pumpkin, and then a seed. That doesn't make any sense. Sequencing, boys and girls, is very important to know what is happening in a story or how to do something. And today and every day, I want you to remember the importance of sequencing. So much is in our brain, boys and girls, from today. I hope that you can take the knowledge of rhyming words and apply them to your reading and your writing. The same ending sounds, but not the same beginning sounds. And with sequencing, whenever you are maybe writing a how to book, or maybe you are reading a sequencing of a life cycle or the plant cycle of any living creature. So I hope that you are able to use your sequencing knowledge and your rhyming knowledge sometime in the future and even now. So, boys and girls, I'm so thankful that I got to meet with you today, and I can't wait to see you again. Have a great day. Goodbye.